All right, welcome everyone. So we'll be doing a trading strategy video today. Haven't done one of these in quite a while, and I know that historically they were some of the most popular videos, and so I figured we would jump back into this a little bit. And so this is going to be a 5-minute trading strategy. The original video said that it can be used for many other things, Forex and stuff like that, but specifically showed it on the Bitcoin chart again on 5 minutes. Real quick before we get too deep into it though, I want to give a shout out to our Patreon only channel on our Discord server. So this is our Discord. It is free to sign up for the initial Discord, but then we do have a Patreon only channel where our patrons are able to get access to this private channel right here, where we post some amazing analysis on Forex, on futures. I myself post daily trade on calling out daily trades on the S&P 500, growing a small account that I have been working on growing here over the last couple of months. A lot of really great stuff, really great advice. And so if you are trying to really excel your trading knowledge, I highly recommend that you join our Patreon only channel here. Get some great information. Sasquatch is an amazing trader on Forex, doing some wonderful analysis. Our admin Jay is also an amazing trader doing futures analysis and calling out trade opportunities and stuff like that. And then again, myself doing more of a kind of day trading on the S&P 500. And so all in all, some really great stuff. So back to our strategy here. So again, this is a 5-minute trading strategy. We're going to test it or take a look at it on the Bitcoin chart. It consists of technically 2 indicators, but we're going to use one of them twice, and then we'll actually have an additional indicator that was not mentioned in the original video. We'll go through kind of the way the original video outlined it first. We'll take a look at what it's kind of able to achieve, maybe see what's going on with it, and then go from there. So the first indicator that we're going to use is the chandelier stop. And so if you just start typing in chandelier, or I'm sorry, it's the chandelier exit indicator, this one right here by Everget. And so you'll want to put that one on screen. Now, when you put that one on screen, it will actually look like this right here. So kind of like the super trend. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to change the settings on that, and they are going to look like this here. This is the style, so we turn off everything but the buy labels, and then in the inputs we change the input to the ATR to 1, the ATR multiplier to 1.85, and we turn off the use close price for extremis, and then we hit OK. That gives us this the sell and buy signals here, the way we have them set up there. Also, one more thing that I didn't mention is on the buy label, you're going to want to do below bar. On the sell signal, you're going to want to do above bar. And so once you have all that set up, again, it'll look like this. Now, this is the Hakanashi candles here, not your standard Japanese style candlesticks. So Hakanashi chart here. Then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to throw an RSI on the screen, and we're actually going to add 2 RSI. Let me walk you through this real quick because I thought this was rather interesting. Hadn't seen this done before. So RSI and RSI right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go in and make some modifications to that. So you're going to turn off the RSI based MA. You are going to, if you want, change the color of the RSI line and bump up the weight of it to this right here. And you're going to, on the inputs, change one of them to 25 length and leave everything else the same. On the other one, you're going to change the style exactly the same, turn off the based MA, and you can change the color of the RSI line and bump up the weight of it a little bit, and the input is going to be changed to 100 right there. And once you do that, then just for the sake of making these a little bit different here, let's do that. Let's change these. I guess I should have just done that while I was talking, and we'll do that like that. Here we'll change this one here to 25. It's a little bit easier if I just show it while we are on here. You can kind of see what we're doing. So now we're going to combine these to create one indicator. So I'm going to click on the three dots right there. I'm going to go to move to existing pane below. And it gives us this right here, but they are kind of out of sync. And so what you're going to do is you're going to click on the three dots there. You're going to go pin to scale Z. Pin to scale Z, and then it pins the other one to scale Z as well. And now they are one combined indicator, kind of matching and overlapping each other. And so that gives you this right here. All right, so now that we have both of those in place, what we're going to do is we're going to look for buy and sell signals. When we get a buy signal, then we are going to look down to our RSIs, and we are going to look for the faster of the RSI, the orange one, to be above the blue one. So if that's the case, then that would be a valid buy signal right there. We get the buy label, we get the faster RSI is above the blue RSI, the slower one. That would be, again, a buy signal right there, a valid buy signal. Now, in the original video, the way they displayed it was, and they called this a 100%. They said that using this RSI would filter out any of the bad trades, and over 1,000 trades, it was a 100% winner, no losing trades. And this is how they displayed it right here, was that they would display the buy signal, and then they would have your stop somewhere in that area. Didn't really explain it very well. And then they would basically put the top side right up against the top of the nearest candle right there, and they would say, there you go, this right here would be a 29% gain right there, so 29%. And then you would just keep following along doing this. This sell signal is not valid because the RSI is above instead of below. And then you would go along here, and I'm going to actually skip over that one just because we'll go back to it. And I'm trying to follow along here the way they did. They just kept calling out and saying, well, this one wouldn't be a valid one, and so we would ignore that one. This one wouldn't be a valid one, and so we would ignore that one. And supposedly it was the RSI that were filtering out these bad trades, but there were quite a few discrepancies even watching the video where the RSI did not seem to filter out signals like that. They just seemed to be picking and choosing these areas like this, going something like this, going something like that, and then going up right there would have been a 66% winner right there. So you would have got that. These would have been filtered out because of the RSI, and then over here we would have gotten this one right here. This would have been a mega winner right here, because wow, look at that, we would have gotten all the way up to 170% on that. And then they pulled out their calculator, and after doing this about I don't know, 10 or 15 times, and said, let's add all these up. So you have 29 here, and you have 66 here, and you have 173 there, and all these ones would have been filtered out by the RSI, and this is a 100% winner. Obviously there were some discrepancies. As I said, even watching the video, there were discrepancies in the fact that they were skipping over some of the signals that seemed to be a valid signal but just didn't go anywhere. And so very quickly you can see that this is not a 100% winner. I mean, right here is a valid signal right here, a valid short. And so here's the sell signal. You can see that our faster RSI is below the slower one there, and immediately price just shoots up out of there. The other thing they didn't do was they did not give you any kind of an exit. They were just measuring to the farthest point, which there's no way you're ever going to get the very top and very bottom of every single move that you enter into. And so the whole thing was just kind of bogus, not to mention that they were using a Heikin-Ashi candle chart. Anytime someone uses the Heikin-Ashi candle chart to validate a trading strategy, I'm sorry, there might be some other opinions on this, but I immediately think it's suspicious and yeah, not a very good way to do that. And that's because the Heikin-Ashi chart makes it look like there are some very good things happening with price action, when in reality, if you were to mark them out, look at the highs and the actual lows or the closes of the candles, then you would see that they are not nearly as great of a move as they seem like they are. And so Heikin-Ashi is a very classic way of making something look really good when in reality it's not that great. And so anyways, this was the strategy here. And again, there was no way, no exit of any kind, no mention of an exit indicator or when you should be exiting these trades. They just went along marking these out and saying, you know, it's 100% winner and you're going to make hundreds and hundreds of percents very quickly on this trading. So I went ahead and threw it on chart, played around with it a little bit. First thing I did was turned off the Heikin-Ashi candles and I went with the standard candlesticks, your standard ones instead of the Heikin-Ashi. It gives you some real actual data to look at here. And I went through and ran this through about 25 times. I know that's not extremely statistically accurate in understanding the full aspects of what an indicator can do. But again, just running through 25 trades is a reasonable amount to get an idea of kind of how an indicator can work. 50 usually gives you a pretty good idea, and then from there you can run it through a longer testing. Now I recommend you always run these through longer testing, but let's just go ahead and take a look at what the strategy was able to achieve real quick here. And so this is, and let me add in one more thing. So I said that I would add in one extra aspect to this, and that's going to be an exponential moving average set to a 9 period, and that is going to be our exit. And so the setup is basically the same. So let's take a look at a winning trade right here. So we get a buy signal right there. Our faster RSI is above the slower. We get a push to the upside and we exit as soon as we either get a signal in the opposite direction, an actual full signal, or we get a cross and close to the opposite side of the exponential moving average. And so you can see right here, we got this signal right there and we closed right here on this red candle as it closed on the other side of the EMA for about a 50% move. Same thing right here. We entered right there and we would have closed right around in this area for about a 30% move as we closed below the EMA right there on that one. And then of course, anytime we enter a trade like this, we immediately exit when we close on the opposite side or we get a signal in the opposite direction. That's the one change that I made to this. Other than that, I kept everything else pretty much the same. And in 25 trades, we had 9 winners. We had 16 losers. Not a great win rate. But the 16 losers were generally relatively smaller than the winning trades, which were generally larger. And so we were able to gain 480% on the winning side. We lost 300%. On the losing side. That's a total gain of 180%, and that was in 1.5 days. And so all in all, not a bad strategy. I would recommend throwing these things on the chart, trying it out and see what you can get out of it as well. Stop listening to these people who claim that they have a solid 100% winning strategy over thousands and thousands of trades. It's just not possible. Now in our indicating indicator testing videos, we do have some 100% winners, but that's because it's within a very specific criteria. And once we test them further, there is no doubt that they are not going to maintain that 100% win rate. And so these are people claiming they have a full-blown strategy that they use and never lose using it. That is just not the case, and you can quickly see that with this one. So all right, I hope that helps everyone. This is a cool little strategy. I think it can actually be useful. While I was testing it, I actually got this signal right here. We picked up this long signal by the RSI was in the correct position right there, and we moved up rather nicely. Unfortunately, gave back a good amount of the gain right there, but would have closed this position for about a 25% gain, and that was in a matter of less than an hour of trading right there. And so very interesting. A little bit of something to this particular strategy. Recommend you throw it on the chart and you give it a try. All right, anyways, this video is too long now. I'm going to cut it here, and we will see you on the next video.